Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of ISNM's Chai with a Scintillating Star. It gives me great honor and privilege to introduce a very dear friend as today's star, Dr. Rakesh Kumar. Dr. Rakesh Kumar is currently the professor and head of Department of Diagnostic Nuclear Medicine at All India Institute of Medical Sciences, or lovingly known as AIIMS in New Delhi, India. He is one of the past presidents of SNM India, the Society of Nuclear Medicine in India, and currently serving as the editor-in-chief of Indian Journal of Nuclear Medicine, as well as one of the editors-in-chiefs for Nuclear Medicine Communications Journal, which is the official journal of the British Journal of Society of Nuclear Medicine. Dr. Kumar has published very well. He's a highly published and highly cited author. He is recipient of numerous awards, the topmost of which is the BC Roy Award, or the President's Award in India, which is the topmost honor a physician or a doctor can get in India. And Dr. Kumar is one of the proud owners of such an award. We are very happy and privileged to be able to get an interview to talk with basically Dr. Kumar and get his ideas to ISNM, SNM India, and the overall nuclear medicine professional community in US, India, as well across the globe. And I would also like to thank our sponsor for this initiative for ISNM, that's Medical Imaging Consultancy. We are very happy to have supporters and patrons who support ISNM and its initiatives. So welcome, Dr. Kumar. How are you doing?
Yeah, good, Dr. Amol. Thank you very much for having me on this Chai with Scintillating Star. I'm very happy to be here online.
We are happy to have you as well. So let's start with how you got into nuclear medicine, or how you chose nuclear medicine as a career or a profession. Anything interesting tidbits that you'd like to share with us in that regards?
Yeah, but, it was not, to be honest, it was not by choice, but by accident. So, I shot admission in nuclear medicine in 1992
Okay.
in Bombay University. That was Bhabha Atomic Research Center.
Uh-huh.
At that time, nuclear medicine was not very popular as compared to what we are having today. So, at that time, nuclear medicine was not by choice because we were not aware what nuclear medicine is there. Because during our undergraduate courses, we were never taught about nuclear medicine except one renal scan and thyroid scan. So, uh, since I was very keen in medicine, so I wanted to do MD in medicine in my hometown medical college, that is Medical College Rohtak in Haryana. Somehow I didn't get good score there, and I could not get. And then I got opportunity, or to visit Mumbai. These days, in those days, it was Bombay.
Bombay.
So yeah, I got interviews there, and they selected me as one of the candidate. It was like I was with, interestingly, Partha was number one and I was number two. So we are batchmate.
Yeah, we are very blessed to have Partha Sinha as our treasurer for ISNM, and yes, he speaks very highly of you as well. So that's a coincidence, because even during my time, I don't remember being exposed much to nuclear medicine in med school other than some thyroid studies. And when I came to the US, I got exposed to nuclear medicine, and then the rest is history, as they say. So I guess a lot of us have had similar pathways during med school. We didn't get much exposure, and then we have finally found our way in nuclear medicine. But you've had a very diverse path. You've worked as a nuclear medicine professional in India, in the US, where we were together at the Hospital of University of Pennsylvania, some great times with Dr. Alavi's group at that time. And you have been also exposed to the European setting of nuclear medicine and molecular imaging. So since you have such a diverse exposure in different settings for nuclear medicine and molecular imaging, can you tell us how the systems differ? What are the strengths, and what are not such great strengths or weaknesses in those settings from your perspective?
Yeah, Dr. Amol, in India and Europe, but the nuclear medicine is a independent medical specialties. So they have like 3 to 6 years, uh, dedicated time or course for the nuclear medicine, and usually it's an independent branch as compared to US, where it is a part of radiology. So you do radiology and then you specialize in nuclear medicine. Now these days, more open. In 2002 and 2003, when I was at UPenn in Philadelphia, I was fortunate to be with you, and we had training and lunch together. So at that time, it was independent there also. But over that time, I see in US the residency slots are decreasing, particularly in nuclear medicine. Now people are going for radiology and doing fellowship in nuclear medicine, whereas in India and Europe, still it is an independent specialty, and the people spend depend upon various countries. In India, if you want to have academic position, you have to spend 6 years. If you want to do only practice in the private center, then 3 years are good enough. So the other thing is important that since even radiology specialists in US, there are certain advantages also, because many times we have very limited exposure with radiology. So sometimes, like in especially in the private practice, uh, we work in close contact with radiology people. So there many a time there are two persons. One is radiologist and another is nuclear medicine guy, and they report like individual part. One is reporting CT part, another is reporting PET part. So that is one limitation, I'll say. Now people are learning anatomical imaging, and like in government hospital like Mines and PGH Chandigarh, they are reporting independently. But in some of the European center, they are also independently reporting nuclear medicine with training of radiology. But it's depend upon which center you are working. Like in my hospital, we are reporting PET CT independently, whereas in some center, they read with nuclear medicine guy with reading with radiology. The advantage is that it is an independent specialty, and we are not bothered or with radiologists that they will take over. So it is an independent branch in Europe as well as in Asia, I'll say.
Mhm. I think that kind of helps attract talented medical students and residents to the field. I think that's one of the issues we may be facing here in the US, that since it's a subspecialty now mostly, I mean, there are still some individual nuclear medicine residency programs in the US, but as you rightly pointed out, the numbers are decreasing, and we certainly have to make a concerted effort to attract the best to take the field forward, at least here in the US. But as you pointed out with the reporting and all that, things are going to get more complicated once PET-MR becomes a little more easily available. Here at Emory, we have a PET-MR, and right now we are doing kind of that dual reporting that you suggested for PET-CT. For PET-CT, we don't do any dual, and that's been for more than a decade, or actually almost 2 decades, that we have always independently reported the CT portion by ourselves. But PET-MR may be a little more challenging, and right now we have implemented that dual report thing, which helps. So we'll see how things pan out, and how things progress. Moving on to some other topic. You've been a prolific writer of papers, and your publication record is just stellar. Any tips or guidance to the young generation to help them publish more?
Yeah, Dr. Amol, it's you have to have a special zeal to do research and publications. So when I was young and reading papers in the journal, so I was thinking like the similar work I can do in my hospital also. So initially, like I was not having much support from research grant. but I used to do case report. And when I was reading clinical nuclear medicine, and at that time there was some case report in, JNM also. So at that time I was thinking that I can do similar work, and that's how I learned. I started with interesting images and case reported, and over the time I found out that it's very interesting, because when your publication comes and you get reprints, it gives a lot of pleasure and satisfactions that you can do it. But for the younger people, I'll say you have to immerse yourself into the subject, and then every case is case reports. That's what I feel. Every case is some unique finding, and being editor of IJNM and nuclear medicine communication, we are looking any new message in any case or in a paper, because I don't want to waste my 2-3 pages on any usual stuff which is being already done. I'm looking any new information which can be provided by the manuscript. So I'm always looking any. It may not be very big or breakthrough information, but sometimes very simple information, some new technique, some modification in the technique can work, that you can publish a new work. So the first thing I'll say you have to do, have immerse yourself in the specialty, and then look for a new information in every case, and then you find out and make note of it. And then if you can have few cases, then you start with case report, then case series, and then move on to some research grant and full publications.
Excellent, excellent. So message to our young people, Dr. Kumar is very pro getting publication. So if you have a good case report, maybe you can send it to him and he can guide you for at least for nuclear medicine communications and also for IJNM. Something else that is very dear to me personally is the relationship of IASNM and SNM India. Under your when you were the president of SNM India a few years back, under your leadership, we forged ties, or we ISNM facilitated SNM India's ties with various organizations, and we signed some agreements and MOUs like with ACNM and other entities. What advice do you have now? Now you're a past president, so you're moved on. But what advice do you have to future ISNM leadership as well as future SNM India leadership to build on this, to enrich and deepen our relationship? Not only with SNM India, but with, say, Molecular Imaging Society of India and other professional societies in India. We hardly have a relationship with the Indian College of Nuclear Medicine, for example, or the various chapters. So where can we take this further?
Yeah, we are absolutely right that we had agreement with ACNM through IASNM. So I'm very thankful during my tenure of presidentship of 2 years. So we signed few agreement with ACNM, with IASNM, and in addition we were able to, through your connections, that sign agreement with Society of Nuclear Medicine and Molecular Imaging of USA under your guidance and your able team. And I'm very thankful to you and your team, especially Dr. Chitra, Dr. Pata Sinha, and other of your colleagues who are actively involved. Before you, yes, ISNM was there for many years, but sometime in between it went in dormant stage. But you revived that and started with meeting in Delhi, and then followed by Chandigarh and then Mumbai. So it was very good experience working with you, and I would suggest that we keep on working, and there is a lot of things to do. And like ISNM always wholeheartedly supported that SNM India for new guys, young guys, able to support them financially, selecting them for some award, so making them to come to US and having experience of attending SNMMI. And the attraction of that association is always that one dinner on the third or second day of SNMMI, so that where everybody meet each other and share experience of each other. And I'm very sincerely thankful to you and your team, Dr. Sinha and Dr. Chitra and other colleagues of yours, you know, arranging those dinners and giving chance to meet each other, especially young people. We
Mhm.
know each other for so many people, but young people coming that in the name of award, you are providing that may not be financially it's a big award, but that even small things making them exciting, something that they want to come and attend that meeting as well as that special dinners in the evening.
Yes, I'm glad that we are able to make that. So this year too, we will be having the ISNM annual dinner meeting. It will be on Sunday, June 12th, in the evening, starting at 6:30 p.m. And it's going to be in the Hilton, Vancouver downtown, actually. So hopefully, a lot more people will come. People have got pandemic fatigue, I guess, and so hopefully, a lot of people will show up. Although I understand there's some people who may not get a visa in time, or travel issues. So I hear that you are not going to make it this year, so we will miss you sincerely at our dinner meeting, because you've been a fixture of our dinner meetings almost every year.
Yes.
So moving on to something else that I mentioned earlier, you are one of the few nuclear medicine physicians in India who've received the topmost award for a physician or a doctor. That's the BC Roy Award, or the President's Award. Tell us how you reached there, and what it felt after receiving that award.
Yeah, but it's not of the few nuclear medicine physician. I am the only nuclear medicine physician
Thank you
receiving
for the
that.
correction. Yes, you're the only
Yeah,
nuclear medicine physician, even better.
yeah. So this is highest award for any physician or the surgeon who is having like MD degree in India, and that is always given by the President of the India, and that's for the academic excellence. So because of my continuous work, I started my nuclear medicine around 30 years back. So exactly I short admission in 1992 July in Bombay. So it's now almost going to be 30-year in the specialty.
Mhm.
So with persistent hard work and publication and my passion for the nuclear medicine, I love nuclear medicine, and I live nuclear medicine every day. I'm deeply involved in this, and I always look what are the better way I can practice nuclear medicine in all aspects. So with over the time persistent work, I never aimed for any award, but over the time if you work hard, you do publication, you are involved in patient care research, the awards will come with time. So if you aim for award, it may not come, but if you work hard with passion over the time, these awards are bound to come.
Good. I think that's a very good message to our young professionals. Work with passion, love what you do. So it's not a job. It's you look forward to going to work every day, and eventually success will follow you. So thank you for that message. Lastly, I think as we alluded, times have changed, and nuclear medicine in India is booming now. It's not the same nuclear medicine when you or even I was in med school. And now it's a well-known branch, and India is doing tremendous amount of work in molecular imaging with new molecular imaging probes. I remember that a lot of probes are actually clinically implemented initially in India, even like when they're still here in research stage in the US, and very few people have access to it. And so on for the therapies as well. There are papers and articles that come out from India about like actinium-225 therapy for lutetium-177 resistant patients or refractory patients, which it's still we're still considering it here in the US. It's not that easily done. So I believe that India has moved significantly ahead in the field of nuclear medicine, molecular imaging, and theranostics. What do you think? Will it benefit US residents and fellows to actually come to India at the premier nuclear medicine institutes in India and do like an observership there to get an idea about how the newer things are implemented and get an idea about how when the volume of work is high, how things need to be juggled and managed, and just what considerations are there when the resources are not that great. Do you think there's some value to that?
Yes, Dr. Mole, I feel so, especially in the big institutes like PJ Chandigarh, AIIMS, and then there are big some private sectors hospital which are doing great clinical work. Especially they are doing, like, if you see that gallium generator which was recently approved in US also, we are doing this gallium dotatok or this gallium PSMA studies for last almost 10 years now. So there is a lot of experience, and we have done because, as you said, volume is a lot in India. We do a lot of patients, so experience is a lot, especially in therapeutic point of view, theranostic point of view. Again, as I mentioned in the beginning, that in Europe and in Asia, since it is run by nuclear medicine physicians, and they are licensed to do the therapeutic trials and therapy rather than endocrinologists like in US. Here, nuclear medicine physicians are authorized to practice and do therapies of radiopharmaceuticals. It'll be nice if someone can visit for like short duration for 1 to 2 months. And since big institute, they are having a lot of patients, so they can get exposure of like 15, 20 patient in those that duration, and then can get experience. So even in Australia also, like Asia, Oceania, and Europe. So other than US, there it's being practiced very well, theranostic as well as diagnostic. Maybe in the US, it is recently picking up that gallium neuroendocrine tumor imaging also. So I would suggest, yes, it'll be nice if somebody can afford. May not be, and there are some courses also, like some Indo-US program that government provide funding for like 2 to 3 months fellowship. So it may be financially also, it may be viable.
Yeah, so I think we need to look into, the financial aspects, the regulatory aspects, licensing issues, or, and visa issues to facilitate this kind of a thing. But so I think that's one thing that maybe ISNM and SNM India can look into exploring further, looking at pathways for US people to go to India for a couple of months and vice versa for Indian people to come and do a couple of, research entities in the US as well. I think another thing that can increase collaboration is potentially trying to get industry to India to do research trials, maybe early stage, just because the volume of patients is so high, they can get some good data as long as, there are dedicated people who are willing to, do the research by crossing all the T's and dotting all the I's and following the protocol to the dot kind of a thing. So I think that those would be a couple of good things to further enrich our ties. So I think that's about it that we had for you. Any parting thoughts? Any last words of wisdom to especially the younger nuclear medicine people, but overall nuclear medicine professionals in US, India, and across the globe?
Yeah, Dr. Mol, I would like to thank IASNM, Dr. Chitra, Dr. Patha Sinha, you and other office bearer of IASNM, for continuous support of a member of Society of Nuclear Medicine of India, for, these collaborations, and always, agree to help and, supporting SNM India, and always, ready to help with these small things, but with this continuous efforts of ISNM and collaboration with SNM India, it may will it may take further advancement of, as suggested by you, more collaborations for the research, and the trainings of the young guys, young nuclear medicine physician for a 1 or 2 months. So that's what I learned when I was there. at UPenn, I learned many things and many SOPs and how to do research in a
Exactly.
proper format. So those protocols and proper ethics things can be done by you, and the volume and number of patients can be done in India part. So it will be like win-win positions for the both ISNM, US resident as well as Indian residents. It will be good for both countries and both associations. And I feel that your young team, you and other of your colleagues who are actively involved can take it further to new heights. And I'm really thankful to be good friend, good colleagues, and good collaborators. Thank you very much, Dr. Amol.
Thank you, Dr. Kumar. We will love having you here. So thank you for everything. And you have a great rest of the day.
Yeah, thank you.